It has gotten quiet around GT7. For a couple of months content was slow and people started to get riled up a bit. Did polyphony vanish? Did they give up in the face of competition? Was there something wrong? No chance. After a quiet stint around Gran Turismo 7, we are treated with what we could very well call one of the biggest updates to the title yet, maybe except PS VR2, which we will also use today. Everything about new cars, tracks and reworked modes is coming up now when we dive head first into the Gran Turismo Spec II update. Oh, and some gigantic news about the AI revolution is also waiting for you at the end. Let's start with the 7 cars that Spec II brings with version 1.4. 3 of them are available exclusively in the Legend Cars dealership. Starting with the 68 Dodge Charger RT, which is still comparatively cheap and makes the hearts of muscle car fans beat faster with its 426 Hemi. Also exclusive, very special and above all extremely rare in the real world is the DTM homologation special Mercedes-Benz 190e Evo 2 from the early 90s. Then we come straight to the most expensive car in the update, a special edition R33 GTR limited to 99 in the real world to celebrate the success of the Nismo GTR LM. The Nismo 400R is probably the rarest GTRs of all time, and this is reflected in the price at the Legend Cars dealership. 1.8 million credits are being asked for it at the moment. I'm glad you can sell cars now. I haven't played much lately and I'm pretty broke. As you can see, I sold my Ferrari F40 just to bring you the 400R. If that's not worth a like, your subscription and the bell to make sure you don't miss any future videos, then I don't know what is. A first look at the VR showroom once again shows the attention to detail that Polyphony puts into each car. The car looks stunning, even the interior is fully equipped, including the lighting of elements in the door panel. Then it's off to Tokyo to enjoy the special RBX GT2 version of the RB26 engine in the 400R. The 400 brake horsepower pushes well and the car feels good to drive. I think it was a good buy. The Tesla Model 3 Performance, which complements the already available Model S, is now available at a significantly lower price. I would have thought the Plaid was cool too, but the Model 3 alone with its Mars Rover overlay should put a smile on the faces of fans of the electric brand. The Dodge Challenger Hellcat Demon provides a contrast to the quiet Glide. If you offer your car in Destroyer Grey, you must mean business. I was really amazed at how many colors Dodge offers this car in. And the supercharged V8 with 840 horsepower is serious, delivering over 200 miles per hour or 330 kph from the factory. From a brutal V8 to one of the most popular engine sounds in the world and one of the most requested cars for GT7 updates, it's finally here, the Lexus LFA. It's no bargain at 1.5 million credits, but once again we're rewarded with incredible detail and well-realized V10 sound. Whitest white, Lexus definitely gives Dodge a run for its money in the color game name. In any case, I was surprised by the incredible revving of the engine, almost like a motorcycle. And here are some more scenes for pure enjoyment. As if that weren't enough, there is another car with one of the best sounding engines of our generation. The current 992 generation Porsche GT3 RS. I've already had the chance to experience the 4.0 high revving 500 plus horsepower Boxer in real life, and I couldn't wait to chase this car around the Nordschleife in VR. As you would expect, the car handles almost like a race car with its aero and mechanical grip. We've already mentioned the attention to detail in the graphical implementation, but admiring the GT3 RS in the VR showroom really blows you away. Even the headlights are down to the last detail, as is the interior. A joy to behold. By the way, you can earn back some of the credits for the car in one of the new weekly challenges in the one-make GT3 RS Cup race at Laguna Seca. Then there's the new track, Lake Louise, set in the Canadian Rocky Mountains. This is the first time we've driven on snow in GT7. I don't know if the fans really wanted this, but these events have been part of Gran Turismo for years and I'm happy about it. There are 3 variants, each with a reverse option. Lake Louise can only be driven with the new snow tires regardless of the car. The driving physics seem quite fun and understandable in the first test, but the camera is extremely shaky, especially in the cockpit. The beautiful mountain panorama and details like the ropeway create a winter holiday atmosphere, especially in VR. That was quite a lot of, important to mention again, free updates. But Spec II has even more to offer, and I leave it to Marvin to bring you up to date.
Thanks, Michel. And indeed, there's still a lot to unpack with Spec II. Because not only did we get the big ones, but also some quality of life changes which did add up. One of the higher profile updates was done to the meeting place. It has been renamed to Paddock and now features a cool reskin as well as more interactions when racing with others. Even though it is basically a parking lot, you do get more of the community feeling that GT7 tries to convey. The world circuits have seen a few changes as well. From new events like the X 2019 Nations Cup right here, to additional menu books. It is a good chunk of new content if you recently felt bored of playing the same cups over. And now, it's also way easier to find these events as well, thanks to the new event directory. This small feature is simply a way to search out whatever you want to rock at that time. If you feel creative and hop into a custom race, you should also notice that the rewards have been upped in terms of the credits you get. Makes sense, since the influx of cars make the game more expensive every bigger patch. For all license fanatics, master licenses have been added to the license center. The master licenses are unlocked after completing the normal license, so don't you worry if they don't immediately pop up for you. Additionally, some more designer interviews are able to be held in the cafe now. Maybe I can ask them to finally design the overtake mobile that I've been longing for. For those of you who want to produce content, Spec II also has some surprises. New settings for photo mode and scapes have been added, and you should be able to create stunning pictures now more than ever. One of the changes which kind of flew under the radar, I think, was the return of split screen racing. On the PS5 version, up to 4 players can now race at the same time. Let's see if that revives some childhood memories for us. While these updates are great and a breath of fresh air, and certainly will give GT7 a bit more playability right now, it would have been very appreciated to know of them earlier. Just take a peek into the comment sections of the official Gran Turismo videos from the past weeks. Lots of sad GT fan noises. So Polyphony, if you're working on something really cool like this, maybe let us know before. And that's it for the most important updates from us, but there is someone who may have a bit of insight into the biggest change this patch. Emily, do we get the promised AI revolution right now?
Thanks guys, let's get into Sophy really quickly, and the first question is, what is GT Sophy? Sophy is an AI between Sony AI and Polyphony Digital, and it originally started as sort of a hobby project that grew into something much bigger as it is today. To understand Sophy, the best way to do so is probably to understand how AI currently works in racing games. I'm not a video game developer. This information might not be 100% correct, but from what I'm aware, generally AI these days is about creating a spline around a racing track and kind of programming the AI to follow that spline and make some slight deviations and passing moves and mistakes and things like that. But basically, we tell the computer how to drive a track. Sophy, on the other hand, is a machine learning AI. They have no concept of a racing line or what a racetrack or what a race car is. It's basically a bunch of PlayStation 4s at the time, hooked up, running the same car at the same track over and over and over again. What happens is that Sophy does the same corner thousands and thousands of times and iterates on it and finds something when a little bit faster, and maybe if I turn in a little bit earlier, it's faster. Maybe if I brake a little bit later or use this line, it's faster. And after like thousands and thousands of times of doing the same thing, eventually they will work out the optimum and pretty much perfect way of driving around a racetrack. What does it mean for us drivers? Well, for starters, Sophy is fast, like really fast. When the project was first kind of announced, a couple of us pro drivers got to race against it, and it was destroying us by like at least a second a lap. You don't need to worry about that in GT7 though. The version that is released in this update is toned down a fair bit, and it races at a speed that is manageable for pretty much everyone. Everyone can have a go against it. This means you can race against Sophy, and the racing is honestly the best part. Sophy is smart enough to defend smart against your moves, cover the inside. They'll set up moves, corners in advance. They will chase your slipstream, things like that. Stuff that you don't see any AI doing. Sophy is truly groundbreaking in racing games, in my opinion, and it's the closest I've ever seen anything get to the feeling of what it's like to race against another human being. In this update in Gran Turismo, Sophy is available at Laguna Seca, Grand Valley, Road Atlanta, Le Mans, Spa, Deep Forest, Red Bull Ring, Suzuka, and Tsukuba, and in 340 of the cars, which is like 95% of the cars in Gran Turismo. I honestly love racing against this AI, and Sophy alone has added a new dimension to the single player experience in GT7. What are your thoughts on this Gran Turismo 7 update? Has it brought the game up your list of sims? Or maybe not so much? Let us know. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.